Well, hello guys, my name is Nick from Nickstoygarage, and today a quick little restoration. We are actually finishing a model that I've started over a year ago. That's why it's still my old background with the Nickstoygarage one-of-a-kind t-shirt in the background. And today we're doing the number 75 Matchbox Ford Thunderbird. This is a model, I bought it, it was actually a lot this way. I think somebody tried to restore it in the past. I was saying say future, but that's impossible. Tried to restore it in the past, they drilled it out and they just stopped for some reason. So this all recorded over a year ago, and after the paint goes on, that's actually today. So also, I apologize for not uploading a video last week. I'm actually working on my Christmas special. This should be, if it works, my biggest video ever. And that's quite scary. So hopefully tune in next week for my Christmas special, if I can actually get it done. No, I've said it, I really need to finish it. Oh God. So at this point, I'm actually taking my little Dremel to take out the remaining axle. The rear axle is actually missing a wheel, and that isn't actually crimped because the body itself actually holds in the axles, not the wheels. Because it's over a year since I've taken this thing apart, I messed up and I just took a different axle for the bag, but you will see at the end of this video, because at this point we're going to my greatest nemesis, my sandblasting cabinet. This point still working because it's over a year ago. But in my... I'm choking. But during my Christmas special, this thing shits the bed. Actually, my air compressor did. So I have some half blasted models. So I need to get to work and get the paint off these. This thing, when it works, takes about 30 seconds to take every single bit of the remaining paint off. Well, I say every single bit, there's still some left, so I take Dave the toothpick. It's the dental pick, sorry Dave, I misnamed you. Dave the dental pick, to get the rest of the paint off. Now for primer, again, a year ago I take my fine surface primer by Tamiya in white, doing 1 to 2 coats in total. I think back then I did 1 or 2 hours to dry between coats. Now it's pretty important that I say that this has been over a year ago. It has a pretty good reason, because in a year this thing got, well, misplaced, replaced, and placed everywhere. So I had to just take the paint off and primer it again with a fine surface primer by Tamiya in grey. Because, yes, I'm an idiot. And it's still pretty amazing. I still was able to find this car after a year of it's just been sitting in primer. So 2 coats in primer, 5 minutes for the first coat and a day for the second coat to dry. Then the base gets a coat of a nice black. 1 coat in total, again a day to totally harden out so I don't put fingerprints on my freshly painted base. Next, the color goes on. At first I decided to go with a white because this is originally a 2-tone car. I think white on top and a pinkish salmon color on the bottom. Now I didn't really like the way this looks, so I decided to go with 1 color. I was going to go with white, but at this point I noticed how horrible the white looks. So what do you do when you don't like a color? You change it, obviously. I decided to go with a nice royal blue from Tamiya. Doing 3 coats in total, again 10 to 15 minutes for the first coat and 24 hours for the second coat to totally harden out. And obviously don't forget to do the inside. I want to know what you would have chosen for the color of this car. Would you have gone back to the original 2-tone color, or maybe a completely different color? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, I excuse, because this is present day, excuse me for the state of my hands. This was the result of taking apart the Christmas special car. So you know you can expect a really dirty car. This was after washing my hands, obviously. It wasn't coming off, which was amazing. At this point I'm doing my favorite step, is the fine details. I did the front grille in black, the front bumper, rear bumper, the bumper headlight, not the headlight, the taillight surrounds in chrome. I also did the front logo in chrome, obviously. When that's done, I did the taillights in my usual red with my little toothpick, Tootie the toothpick. The inners I did red for the brake and rear lights. And then let's open my orange. and do the outside lights in an orange for the side markers. I know in real life these are split, I think. But oh well. The back logo gets a coat of chrome, and then my imaginary door handle. This car doesn't have door handles, so I just painted them on. Then the clear coat goes on to make this model sparkly. Not sparkly, just shine. And then it's time to put the car back together after I did the headlights, which I forgot in the previous segment. This is a day later, obviously, because the clear coat had to harden out. So I took some yellow paint. I could also use some white paint, but I used yellow paint for my headlights. When that's all dry, it's time for the final reassembly. So these are all the parts that I'll restore. The windshield was, well, really broken, so I just decided to buy a new one. And there you can see my mistake. I lost the rear axle. Only one part. It's better to lose that than lose the entire car. So I decided to go with a new rear axle. Now at this point I wasn't really aware that the rear axle was actually not crimped and just been held in by the base. So bear with me while I do it completely different. It worked. It's still, I didn't fix it because I just noticed it when I was editing the video. But here you can see me putting the way too long axle in the rear. Then taking my tweezers, my snappy nappies, and taking the rest of the axle off, but just leaving it on a little bit too long. But it just, when the body is on, it doesn't hit the axle. The wheels can still spin freely, so I'm not really that bothered about it. Next, I take my thingamajigs again and just squeeze really hard and get it back together. Trim off the remaining, and then let's get to reassembly the rest. So this is the new windshield. It says Thunderbird, so I know it was for the Thunderbird. Placing it in place and then gluing it together. So quickly grab my glue, glue it together, and let it dry for a couple of minutes. It just needs seconds, but a minute is also fine. When that's all dried, well, it is actually drying at this point, so I'm keeping it upside down. I just snap in the base front and back, and then screw it together. That's everything for this restoration. Let's take a look at it before the restoration, when it was still, well, this. Beautiful, if I do say so myself. I really miss my old background. I love the t-shirt. And let's take a little look at it after restoration, when it was nicely restored. There you can see my failure at the rear axle, but I think it looks quite good with the grey wheels. Please leave a like, subscribe. Also off camera I did the chrome stripe of the rear fin. Special thanks to every single one of my Patreons, and please help me hit 3,000 subscribers in 2021. Bye.